Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of His and Hers podcast. I'm doing the intro this time since Sarah did it last time. I was told I should do the intro this time. So, welcome, everybody. We are here in Milwaukee. We're at Summerfest. We just finished 3 days of an amazing festival here. Had a great time. But anyway, Sarah, how you doing?
I'm good. I'm a huge fan of not drinking at festivals because I lose a lot of energy when I drink. So I really haven't drank much in Milwaukee. And I would highly advise it if you also get sleepy when you drink. Also, introductions. I'm Sarah at SarahTranPF on Instagram. And I am 23, a Leo. And we've been together for a few months.
Yes, I'm Jeff. Jeff at Jeff Williams GK on Instagram.
Famous.
Yes. Not used to saying my Instagram handle out loud, but anyway, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Today's topic. Let's get into it. Today's topic.
It's a lot of tea. Drama.
How much time is too much time together, spent together when you're in a relationship?
Yeah. And is there such thing as too much time?
Is there such thing? Is there a right or wrong answer?
No.
My inclination would be no.
No.
I think it very much depends on a case-by-case basis.
Yeah.
As do many things.
I think something we've talked about, your love language is quality time. And not all time spent together is quality, in my opinion. Like, I think sometimes you can be distracted, you could be thinking about work, had a long day, maybe your mental health isn't in the right place, and the time that you spend together just isn't quality time. So does that really count as time spent together when you're not really present?
Or like, does it count as quality time? Like, not all time together is quality time. Right? So I'm just summarizing for the people. So I'm just emphasizing the point that, like, my love language is quality time.
Mm-hmm.
So it's important that our time spent together, we're not just spending time together for the sake of spending time together.
Mm-hmm.
There's actually like a purpose to it, and we're both present with each other, which it's hard to always be present with your partner. It really is, because people get distracted, they have bad days.
Mm-hmm.
We're both, maybe to a fault, we care about our jobs a lot and work. So
yeah.
that can really be a distraction when we're trying to have a quiet night.
True.
And you get like an email or a Slack message at 8 p.m. Where you have to action something, that can really detract from quality time. But let's just take ourselves as an example, then go from there. How have you felt like the time we spent together has been not enough, too much, just the right amount, kind of as we started talking up until this point?
I think at the start it was really hard because I was traveling a lot, and so I would say we did not spend enough time together, but I don't think that was by choice. That was literally because I was in Singapore and you were in America. Since I came back from all my travels, we see each other 4 to 5 times a week, pretty much. Like 2 to 3 nights are spent together, but overall 5. I would say 5 days.
We typically go like Monday, Tuesday, we have to ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
Because we typically spend the weekends together. We'll like basically be with each other all day, every day, like Friday through Sunday. So I think, like, the way I see it is that, like, we kind of need our space and our alone time come Monday, Tuesday, just to kind of like regroup, make sure we start the week off on the right foot, like work wise, make sure we're kind of taking care of everything we need to from that perspective. But then I think Wednesday hits and I miss you. Mm-hmm. And it becomes time to kind of start our like cycle of spending time together again.
Yeah. Although it is 5 days and it sounds like a lot of it is also like spent with other people. So sometimes like Jenna, my best friend, will come over for dinner. So it's us 3. So it's not really time spent as a couple. It's like time spent as friends. And then on Saturdays, we have picnics with my other friends, and that's like 8 other people. So it's like not really time together. me is together, but I wouldn't count it as like too much time together. So overall, I think that we have just enough, just the right amount of time together. I think some weeks it's less and some weeks it's more, but that's how life is. And I think we're pretty understanding about it. Like when I was interviewing for something, you were pretty patient about the fact that I wouldn't be able to see you for a few days, and we made time for each other when it was over.
Yeah, and like you say, it kind of comes in peaks and troughs, and I think the way you tell you have a good thing going with somebody is if it does come in peaks and troughs, and that doesn't really affect how you see the other person. So I mean, you give a really good example about last week, for example. We typically spend like all day Saturday and all day Sunday together, but like last weekend I had a work obligation that basically took me away for all of Saturday. So I was basically working all day Saturday from 9 in the morning till 7 at night. So we didn't get to spend we spent that evening together, but we didn't see each other basically all day, which is pretty rare for us.
Yeah, and I feel like we don't like keep track of it. Like we're not like counting like how many hours are we spending with each other? Like, is it too little? Is it too much? It's kind of just based on how we feel, and we're usually very in sync.
I think that's a really good point. I think if you're ever in a position where you're like you feel obligated to like put in X number of nights or X number of days together, I'd say it's probably a bad sign, because then it becomes like you're keeping score. You know, I'm sure a lot of people who watch the pod have seen How I Met Your Mother, and there's an episode about how Marshall and Lily are like keeping score of like all the things in their relationship, and they find it's like really unhealthy for them.
Yeah.
I don't think you should never keep score in a relationship, and I think part of that is like you should never like really. I mean, and this is especially relevant, probably only relevant when you're not living with your partner.
Yeah.
Because I think when you're living with your partner, it's a completely different story. Like it's sort of like by definition, you're spending
a lot of time
like
together.
every day together. But when you're not living together, it's probably not healthy to track the time. You're like by day and night.
Yeah.
You know, it should really just be a case of like when do I want to see you? When do you want to see me? And if you're on the same page with somebody about that, that's probably a sign that things are going well and that you're in a good place with your partner. That's what
I would agree. I also do think that making sure you both have the right understanding and expectations for time spent together in the start of your relationship and establishing that is very important. So on our first date, I had asked you, what is your red flag? Because I think that is a great way for number one, be able to tell if someone's self-aware, but number two, actually see what the red flag is. And yours was I don't know if it's a red flag or not, but I said like one thing that sometimes people don't like about me is I really value my alone time. And I took that as like he really likes being alone, like I'm unlikely to see him a lot, so I'm not sure if a relationship would work out because I like to see my partner like four times a week ideally. So in the end, I would say now I have a clear understanding about what you meant by that. Like I also really value my alone time, but that doesn't mean I need a lot of alone time. It's just when I do have alone time, I'm really spending it like being present with myself and working on myself and things I need to do. So I do think that when you first start dating someone, identifying number one, like, do they have enough time for you? Do they make time for you? But number two, do they make you feel special enough in your life? In their life. Because just because you're making time for someone, like you said, it can feel like an obligation, and that just makes someone feel, I don't think.
Like a burden.
Like a burden. Like I feel like when you ask me to hang out, like it like comes from a really good place, and he's like very genuine about it. But I don't know if everyone experiences that.
And I also think at the same time, like, yes, like it always, of course, whenever like I for example like ask you to hang out or like ask you to spend time or like spend the night, it comes from a place of me genuinely wanting that. But with that comes the fact that if I ever tell you, hey, like I need a day or two on my own to reset. Like that doesn't come from a bad place.
Yeah.
You know, that comes from a place of like I don't like you. I don't like you any less.
Yeah.
It's just that, you know, sometimes you need a bit of a mental break. And time to like catch up on your own stuff. It's just you know, like I think when you're with someone and you give someone else so much of your energy and your focus, it's only natural that stuff in your own life will drop by the wayside a bit. So I think it's important to have that time to catch up on your own stuff too.
Yeah, I'm extremely good about my boundaries of time. Number one, like I have rules of like certain friends I will have to see at least once a week. So like Jenna is a key person. Like she's my lifelong time best friend.
Shout out Jenna. Happy birthday, Jenna, by the way. We're recording this on Jenna's birthday.
And it's really important to me that I see her once a week, and I will make time for her regardless of what else is going on in my life. Number two, I need Monday to myself because I need a reset, and usually on Sunday, like we spend the whole day together, so that means like I haven't had the time to really think about work and everything, which is good, but I do need to like reset my mind to focus on work, because that is really important to me. And then Tuesdays, I go into the office and I get really tired, so I prioritize my physical well-being, and another call.
Pause the recording. Should we pause this?
I don't think you can pause.
Let it run. All right, we'll just let it run. We'll see how this goes. Yo.
Jin?
You coming?
Yeah, it's just me though. Everybody else fucking bailed on me, so I'll have one drink with you guys.
All right, sounds good, man. What's your ETA?
Let me see. I'm like maybe 3 minutes out, dude.
Oh, okay. All right, I'll just meet you in the lobby then.
8 minutes.
Oh, 8 minutes. All right, sounds good. I'll meet you in the lobby.
All right, we'll see you in a little bit.
All right, peace out, man. Bye.
So for example, this is a great example. I'm encouraging Jeff to go and drink with his friend alone. I think like having one-on-one time with a friend is extremely important. I really value that with Jenna and my other friends. And so I want that for you. But he was asking me to go join them for a drink, which is perfectly fine. Like I don't mind joining you guys for a drink. It's just I do think you would have more meaningful conversations with him and more vulnerable conversations with him if you were one-on-one. And I don't want to take away from that. Like we have had 3 days together, and then we're gonna have the next 7 days together in Arizona. So I don't know if it's like we will have a lot of time together.
Yeah.
And it's rare for you to have a time in a different city with one of your closest friends.
Yeah, I agree. No, I totally agree, and I think it's important you recognize when your partner like actively tries to give you your own personal space. So it's really nice that you're doing that. It really is. So thank you for that. And I will have an adult beverage with my friend in a few minutes.
A bevy.
I guess.
Yes, you will.
But yeah.
And let me know if you guys come upstairs so I can put on pants.
So you can make sure the place is tidy. Shout out to the St. Kate Hotel, by the way. St. Kate the Arts Hotel in Milwaukee.
It's so nice, and I love like the theme of it. I'm a very theme person, and I love the theme of all the frames going on like that. And there's more art here, and there's art in the elevator. Anyways, back to our topic. How do you feel about our time spent together?
I think that we have struck a really, really good balance so far. I think we're spending more time together now than we did at the start. I think you know, like you said, we basically didn't spend any time together for the first 3 to 4 weeks. We were seeing each other just because of travel and like Sarah being out of town, me being out of town. But I think since that happened, we kind of settled into like this rhythm we talk about of spending a lot of time together, like Wednesday through Sunday, and then Monday, Tuesday, we kind of do our own thing. I think we found especially since, just for some context, I just moved into a new apartment. I bought a condo.
Mm-hmm.
So I now live on my own, and I think that's really allowed us to probably spend more time together, because you're probably more comfortable coming over to my place now, and I now like have my own space to kind of share with you, as whereas before I didn't really have that. So I think that's kind of led to us having a bit more time together, or spending more time together. But I also think it's natural that as a relationship progresses, you spend more and more time together, and I think that makes sense, and that's kind of what I found we're doing, and that's been a good thing so far.
Yeah. I do think we're very lucky that we're very similar. I don't know if that's due to IB. I would give some credit to IB probably, which is our high school diploma that we did in different countries, but it's very popular. I do think we're very in sync. So for example, like before we sleep every night, we will not talk and we'll be on our phones and like scroll through social media, and we like both love it. And then like after that we'll put our phones away and like debrief on the day and like talk, and then in the morning we'll spend time together. But then let's say like he's getting ready and I'm getting ready, we won't really talk. We'll be both doing our own thing, so like kind of alone time even though you're in the same room. And then we'll have lunch, and then that's very much like phones aside, we're present with each other. And like I don't really know how we've come to that, but we're very in sync on it. So like sometimes he'll be on the couch doing work and I will go into his bedroom and like go on my phone and do whatever I want, because we both just naturally feel like we want alone time even though we're like together.
Yeah, and I think we spend alone time, or we have alone time even when we're together. And I think that's another sign of a really healthy relationship, in my opinion, is that you don't feel the need to always be like having a conversation or doing something together every second you're actually with that person. You know, it's okay to kind of do your own thing.
And Jeff has to go.
And I have to go. You can feel free to keep recording this podcast and talk to the people on your own.
Do you have a final like thought? So what is too much time then?
What is too much time? It's too much time if it feels like an obligation. If you feel burdened to spend time with someone, then that's too much time.
Agreed.
I think that's a pretty good rule of thumb, I'd say.
Okay, go get your drink with your friend.
All right.
I think too much time is when you start losing friendships, and that is the first thing to go. That's like the biggest sign to me. And it's okay that in the start of exploring a relationship, you probably all have less time for your friendships. But to lose friendships means like you're probably doing something wrong and you need to reevaluate. Thoughts, Jeff?
I agree. I'll also bring the food up when it comes.
Oh yeah, we did order food. We ordered Checkers, which is a Milwaukee fast food chain, which I'm super excited about because I love trying out local food chains. Okay, anyways, I guess it's just me. So lucky. I don't have much to say, but thanks so much for watching. Please like, subscribe, comment your favorite fast food chain if you got to the end. And we'll see you in a few days, I guess. We plan on posting twice a week. But we'll probably post more because we talk a lot. Like, we talk a lot. Like, we really never run out of topics. Okay, anyways, I will see you guys soon. Bye!